saying that this is a big deal is an understatement. And that is that Uber shares and Lyft shares are down. But it's not necessarily about the shares. It is this. Shares in some of the world's largest gig economy companies have fallen because the US government outlined a plan to change the way workers are treated. Under the US Labor Department's proposal, which we're going to talk about in a second, workers would be more likely to be classified as employees instead of independent contractors. Going now to the proposal, I'm not going to go super in depth about this, but here's the main concept. While independent contractors have an important role in our economy, we have seen, in many cases, that employers misclassify their employees as independent contractors, especially with them being the most vulnerable workers. Misclassification deprives workers of federal labor protections, including their right to be paid their full, legally earned wages. Going down here, and I think this is very important to bring up, misclassification in terms of being an independent contractor and not being an employee denies basic worker protections such as minimum wage, overtime pay, and it affects a wide range of workers in the home care, janitorial services, trucking, delivery, construction, personal services, hospitality, restaurant industries, and of course, can't leave this out of this list, rideshare drivers. This is a big deal, like I said. I've mentioned in a bunch of other videos the whole aspect of Uber and Lyft drivers being independent contractors or being employees. I talked before as well, in case you didn't know, here in California, there's a huge proposition, Prop 22, whether Uber and Lyft drivers stay as independent contractors or become employees. And unfortunately, here in California, Uber and Lyft drivers are still independent contractors. And I'll probably do a whole in-depth video about this in the future, talking about independent contractors versus employees, especially when it comes to rideshare driving. But this is a pretty big deal. I'm not gonna lie. I think, especially in this day and age, rideshare drivers should be employees. You get a tremendous amount of benefits and, for lack of a better word, just protection as opposed to being an independent contractor. We have all heard of stories of rideshare drivers just getting deactivated for no reason. Something happens where a customer complains about you and somehow you turn on your account and you've been terminated. There's a lot of messed up stuff, I'll word it like that, messed up stuff that Uber and Lyft does, and by you being an employee, you get a lot more protection. However, there's definitely a pros and cons side to this. If, let's say, you're an employee, more likely than not, you're gonna get taxes taken out of every paycheck you get. Now, to some drivers, they might like that. To other drivers, they might rather get all the money up front and then pay those taxes back when tax season rolls around. Obviously, there's a lot more to this, and I will post videos as updates are coming out. But the big thing about this that's massive is it's federal. I've mentioned a bajillion times that the number one factor that determines how much money you can make as a driver is your location. There's a bunch of reasons why, but one of them is being an independent contractor versus an employee. You know, it's a very different thing state to state, at least here in America. However, this could make it that the entire country will look at rideshare drivers and delivery drivers, so if you look at Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, etc., as employees. I am not exaggerating when I say this might be one of the biggest game-changing things to ever happen to Uber and Lyft.